Hey folks, and welcome back to my FM21 beta save with Chelsea. Just off the bat, I do want to make you aware that I am just, with the beta, I am not going to do any graphical changes or naming changes or anything. It's just vanilla, out of the box FM. The only thing I have done is I have imported my squad view so that we can have a look at the squad. So, of course, at Chelsea, there's an ongoing debate around the likes of Kepa and Edouard Mendy, who was brought in. So how about we just compare the two and see who's better in game? Because it's all right saying Mendy's better in real life, but is he better in game? Is the question. So let's go to attributes. On their goalkeeping, they're pretty much similar on average. Mendy's got better eccentricity. He's not very good at the first touch. Kepa's better at the first touch. Kepa's better at kicking. He's better at one-on-ones. Just about. They're about the same, to be fair, on the goalkeeping attributes. Interesting that the punching tendency is in favour of Kepa. With what I've seen in real life, I would say that Mendy does punch the ball quite a bit. Reflex is the same. So overall, looking at the averages, they're quite similar goalkeepers in Football Manager 21. For the defence, of course, we have Thiago Silva, who was signed on a free. And he's all right. His physicals are all right as well, even though he's 35. His physicals are actually okay, even though you would think that at 35 years old he would start declining his physicals. Maybe not his mentals, but definitely his physicals. So Thiago Silva is an option. Fikayo Tomori. His overall game could be a little bit better, but his physicals are up there. It's going to be interesting to see. Matmiaska's out on loan at Anderlecht. I don't think he has any involvement in the Chelsea squad at all. Ever. So for him, I'll move him to the under-23 squad, just so he's not on my main squad page. Kurt Zouma is very good in real life. Very solid, no nonsense, built like a tank. Gets the ball when you want him to, sometimes. Let's just change this to the attribute analysis. I know people like that. So we've got Kurt Zouma as an option. Rudiger's always an option in central defence. Zappacosta's out on loan at Genoa, so we'll move him. We'll just go and move all the players that are out on loan to the under-23 squad. Bakayoko, another one. Don't know why he wasn't sold in the summer. Because I just don't think he's gonna make it at all in the Chelsea setup. Goes on. Mitchie's an interesting one. Why Chelsea just didn't sell him to Crystal Palace? I mean, Crystal Palace probably don't have the money that Chelsea would want for him. But why you just didn't sell him to Crystal Palace, I don't know. So I got Rhys James, who's really good, really good. I'm thinking about playing him as a wing back, a right wing back, because I feel as though Chelsea's fullbacks are more wing backs because they get forward a lot. But we'll go into the tactics in a bit and see and set up a tactic for this inter-squad friendly. Baba Rahman is still at the club. Potentially use him, he's alright. Got Emerson, who I would say is your other wing back. Is your backup wing back because you have Ben Chilwell, although he starts the game off injured, so it would be Emerson in there. Azpilicueta is the captain, so can't really upset him. Might play him as part of might play him in defence. I think he could play a libero. Libero on support. Ball playing defender on cover. We'll see. Marcus Alonso, the most Marmite player in the Chelsea squad, I would say. Some people hate him, some people love him. But in game, he's very good. Double figures on every single attribute apart from leadership, which is a 9. But other than that, double figures on every single attribute. And you've got Kovacic and Jorginho and Kante, who are the let's be honest, they are the holding midfielders. Although Kovacic could potentially play more attacking than the other two. Danny Drinkwater is still here. We'll see what to do with him. New signing Kai Havertz, who's very good. Mason Mount, who is probably the first name on my team sheet. He could do with improving his physicals. Hakim Ziyech, however you say it, can play almost anywhere in the advance. But he is more of I think he is more of a winger, yeah. Then you got Timo Werner, who will be my striker, although I could move him to the wing. We could easily move him to the wing if we need to adjust mid game. Christian Pulisic, who seems to get injured quite frequently, but he's still a very good player. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham. He's got great mentals. Could do with improving his technicals. And Olivier Giroud is just a plug and play striker, basically. So let's go and build a tactic. What does gegenpress, tiki-taka, or vertical tiki-taka are the suggestions from the assistant. Shall we go tiki-taka? Positive, in possession, much shorter passing, playing out of defence, low crosses, dribble less, work the ball into the box, much lower tempo, fairly narrow, which is alright because I think the formation I'm going to pick is fairly narrow. Distribute to centre backs, distribute quickly, hold the shape, counter press, and out of possession, higher defensive line, higher line of engagement, extremely urgent, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, which when playing Mendy, you don't want him to distribute it that quickly. Use offside trap. That one is actually pretty good to what I had in mind of what I was going to play. So sweeper keeper. We'll go Mendy. Let's do right wing first. I would say Rhys James. I'm going to go Rhys James over Cesar there. And let's go Marcus Alonso for the Inter-Squad friendly at least. Now we've got a variety of different centre backs that we can put into these three centre back slots. Let's go with Tomori, Rudiger in the middle as the cover defender, and Silva. Is the ball winning midfielder going to suggest N'Golo? It is. Good. So we can do Kovacic and N'Golo. Mason Mount as a shadow. Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Excellent. Of course, yeah. We don't. Those. Let's ask the assistant to pick the bench. That's okay. Because I hardly ever do these. Cesar, Jorginho, and Thiago Silva is the stand-in. Now, bearing in mind they're going to play the same way as the first team, we'll see. So as you can see, I've also changed my name in-game. Got a couple of people on the last year of their contracts. I say a couple, quite a few, but no one too high profile. I've already created a tactic. Let's go and accept the current club vision. Might as well just go with that. Ben Chilwell and Charlie Mazinga are the only two out on injury. Emerson with a recurring injury. So I will see you when we get to the match day. Just a quick intervention. The Premier League registration window is now open. So I am going to go to squad registration and see whether we have any issues. I don't think we will have any issues. Rhys James is an under 21, so he doesn't need to be registered. Kai Havertz is under 21, so he doesn't need to be registered. That's an interesting one. Werner, under 21, Charlie Mazinga. It looks like we meet all the criteria, which is good. Which you would think we do, because Frank Lampard's been able to use it in real life. So we're just going to confirm that selection. And the other news is that this 18-year-old Austrian, Thierino Ballo, who looks like he could be quite good, 1.5 star current ability with 2.5 star potential ability. He could potentially come through the ranks. don't know whether I'll be in this save long enough to get him into the first team at all. He could potentially come through the ranks in real life. He is now qualified to be a homegrown player, so that helps with any registration in any competitions that require homegrown talent. I'll bring you back for the game. Just another quick one before we get to the game. The code of conduct has to be set. I always forget about all of these little bits that have to be done before you even get to a first friendly. So I'm not really going to be strict with the code of conduct. I typically aren't that strict. I'm typically not that strict with the code of conduct. I reckon this is the one they use in real life. So we'll go with it. I can always ask Jody Morris to pick it. So if I ask Jody Morris to pick it, will he change anything? He changes it a bit. It's a bit more lenient. We can always come back and adjust it, but we'll confirm that. So there might be a team meeting coming up because now we've set the code of conduct. Team report, transfer budget of 0. I think it's because I disabled the first transfer budget. Injury update, player development, let's continue. Squad dynamics. Here we go. We put together a report on the dynamics to keep you informed of relationships and overall happiness in the dressing room at the current time. So there's currently a good dressing room atmosphere and a good managerial support. If at the beginning of the game in my managerial profile I had selected Sunday League footballer, I believe this managerial support would have been right at the bottom. So team leaders of Aspi, Giroud and Silva, highly influential players, N'Golo, Kova, Tammy Abraham, Jorginho, Mason Mount, Rudiger, Kurt Zuma and Alonso. Everyone else is influential. There's quite a lot. It's Chelsea, so you would expect there to be quite a lot of influential players at the squad. Let's introduce ourselves to the team. Now this is something new. This is the new manager. This is the new kind of screen for team meetings and that Sports Interactive have brought into Football Manager 21. So I'll start off positive with I want to take and introduce myself as Chelsea manager. Overall atmosphere is encouraged. Everyone else is kind of agreeable. Cesar, because he's the captain. Welcome, I'm pleased to see you in charge and hope your reign is long and successful. So let's see. It's quite a lot more options that you get. Either there's a lot more options, or it's just the fact that the layout is different, that it just looks more. I don't know what to say, because I'm not going to be making improvements in any area quite yet. I'm not going to make any promises yet, but let's talk about the expectations. They're all reserved. Yet it's important to set some sensible goals for this season. Cesar seems to be the one leading it. I think we're going to win the title this season. I mean, the club vision is they want a top 4 finish and qualification to the Champions League via the league. Can we win that? I'm very positive about our chances and think we can qualify for the Champions League this season. I think we finished top half. I think we challenged for the title. I'm going to go with this and see what they say. I think I'm very positive about our chances and think we can qualify for the Champions League this season. That was an overall very good response from the lads. I'm delighted that we share the same level of ambition. We can qualify for the Champions Cup for sure. So now we've got a couple more things that are new in FM21 is these gestures. I feel as though they've replaced the passionate, assertive, calm ones, but I don't. But what Miles said on stream, if you go back and watch it on the official Football Manager YouTube channel, he did say that there's a lot more of these than there is just those four options of assertiveness, passionate, calm. So, what kind? Well, I want to say that's the exact sort of reaction I want to see, but I want to see. Do I need to do it with a pump fist? Underarm pumping of clenched fists intended to encourage. Outstretched arms. Arms outstretched directly in front of body, palms open in praise. I think just go no gesture. I want to be positive. Do I say we're aiming to win the Champions League this season? Also be aiming to reach the latter stages of the Champions League this season. What's the pump fist do? Tends to encourage. Let's go for it. They feel let down by that. Really? You think that's too ambitious, Marcus Alonso? Okay. Kick chair. I do like some of these gestures, to be fair. They're funny. Thrash arms, point finger, wave hand, raise hands. Right. Raise hands with palm facing out to pacify. I'm just going to go no gesture and just insist. Wave hand in an open, convincing manner. What is that? 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 Wave hand in an open, convincing manner. I'll do that. I'll say I respect the decision of the lads. Let's go. We're aiming to win the FA Cup this season. Everybody like that. Also finalised the code of conduct. Unhappy with the code of conduct, much more lenient than the players were expecting. Really? I thought you'd be happy that it's not aggressively like fining you 4 weeks for missing a day. What's the raise hands do? I'm not going to point fingers at anyone until I do it in like a match kind of thing. Kick chair. Kick chair in an aggressive outburst intended to shock. I'm just going to say I'm disappointed that we're not all on board, but it's there. And then you get a little breakdown at the end. Players aren't particularly happy. Don't think the players are particularly happy with the promises you made. However, the players are largely happy with the expressions, the expectations laid out. The code of conduct is too lenient. It didn't affect the morale too much of each player. The code of conduct is too lenient. Nobody knows where the code of conduct actually is. Anyway, I'll bring you back for the first game against the Chelsea second 11, or I'll bring you back if something else happens in between. So before we get going with the match, of course, there's the financial fair play regulations they've sent me. So that's for the Premier League, and that's for the Champions League. We also have to meet the media. So let's attend this press conference and see how this works. Pick off with a question from Chris Langley from Football Radar. Welcome. First of all, how do you feel sat here as the new Chelsea manager? Swan Marley, smile warmly. Don't know why I couldn't say that. Privileged and excited. You stand here today unveiled as the new manager of Chelsea. As a big fan of the club, this must be a dream come true. Jumped at this moment for years. The facilities at the club are fantastic. Are you excited to have an opportunity to work in such an environment? What's the acknowledgement? Absolutely delighted with the facilities, but it's no less than I expected. Your playing career was a huge success. Just because I did the badge at Chelsea level. Let's try outstretched arms. Outstretched arms directly in front of your body, palms open in praise. So that takes the disagree options out of the question. Just going to agree with that. Your hair open relatively close by. Does that help at all in getting the fans on side with your appointment? Hopefully. I think it can only help. It gives me an immediate bond with the supporters and we can go from there. It can't be an enviable task to follow in the footsteps of the legend that is Frank Lampard. How do you think you'll measure up to your predecessor? That's for others to judge. Are you happy with the squad you've inherited? What do we do? One of the reasons I was so keen here is the quality of the playing squad. Very good idea what they're capable of and what we can achieve this season. Have you been able to meet the players yet? I'm going to be positive, even though the actual team meeting didn't go well. I'm going to be positive to the media. Because that's always important. Are the Chelsea fans important to your long-term plans? Shake head. No, they're not. No. Of course they are. Of course, Chelsea fans. Of course, the fans of the club are always important to how the team performs. Where do you see this club heading long term? The neutral option there is as far as our performances allow, which is the obvious answer, but it's not going to be the answer that I choose. What's your approach to train? What's your approach on the training ground? Is Timo Werner the sort of player you'll look to build around? Yes. Will Cesar remain captain? Absolutely he will. That's not going to change. Do you feel the squad could do with strengthening in particular areas? It probably could do strengthening in particular areas, but of course I disabled the first transfer window in this save, so we can't do any strengthening until January. I would say more defensive. not goalkeeper, because there's already about 17 different goalkeepers at the club. Plus Mendy probably is going to be the goalkeeper. Bolster in defence. Widely reported or widely expected that Kurt Zouma will leave the club. It's the wag finger. As if to belittle. No, I'm not going to belittle Tom Taylor, am I? I'm not going to go, you don't know what you're talking about. No. I want to keep Kurt at the club. While managers are famous for their hands-on approach, others maintain a more reserved manner with their players. How do you see your management style? Then come to me with anything. Different managers favour different competitions. Will you be concentrating primarily on getting good results in the Premier League? Yeah, that's our main focus. Okay, the press conference was just fine. Thank you, Sam. The board didn't give any instructions on questions to avoid answering. Okay, the press conferences look like they could work in Football Manager 21 if they built the game behind the code properly and improved on from Football Manager 2020. It could be that the media do tend to have more of a relationship with you on a one-to-one basis, and they won't ask some silly questions, which has been known when you're like 20 years into a save and they ask the same question about a player who's been playing in the position forever. Can you play this position? Yes, you can play this position. Okay, I'll bring you back for the game, and we'll see what the match engine looks like. So welcome back, folks. It looks like we're at the game now. I just got a question from Jody Morris about how I wanted to handle the inter-squad friendly. So it was a question of, do I want it to be a first team versus 11, or first team versus the under 23s, or mix and match the squads. I'll put a, you might see on screen that I've put a image of what the question was. I said first team versus the under 23s, and then it gave me an option of confirming the squads, and I just went, I'll manage the first team only. Because I want to see what Jody Morris, I guess Jody Morris is going to manage the second string. Could be wrong, but we'll see. The teams are warming up. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So if I hit kick off. So we have that. I don't need an introduction to the thing. Or maybe I do. During the match, you can keep close eye on the players, forming, adjusting the instructions accordingly, and don't be afraid to make changes. Changes there. The tactics is now in that little box there. The shouts are down there. During the game, we've got that. Got the match stats. And those. What's that for? You can also give yourself a better view of the action. Okay, you can minimize the little. So let's just go. Let's keep it director. Let's go for this game. Let's go extended highlights. It's not going to be very entertaining, I don't think, but. Replay events, show position instructions, goals, disallowed offside goals. Let's see in Football Manager 21. Let's see if the goal line technology is better. We'll have the sounds on for this one. Let's see. So we are in the royal blue, and the away team is in the light blue. Verna to James. Gets dispossessed by Pate. Nice save, Mendy. James puts it in, and Fikayo Tomori scores our first goal in charge after 1 minute 40 seconds. Was it 1 minute 40 seconds? 1 minute 35 seconds then as it crossed the line. Let me know in the comments what teams you've selected to start your saves within Football Manager 21. Mount, Tomori. I thought I'd show you the Inter-Squad friendly, or a friendly, because it's a brand new game, it's the beta. We're seeing how the match engine looks, how it plays, and all that. Kovacic intercepts, Tomori. Oh, what a goal by Mason Mount that was! Curled it in. Werner involved, Havertz involved, Mason Mount. That is a strike and a half. It is Petr Cech in goal for them. For the under-23s, it is Petr Cech in goal, so you would expect him to be a little bit better than that. This is basically a warm-up game. Now, I'm not really looking at any of the dugout instructions which appear in this section here when they're not in a highlight. 3-0, N'Golo Kante. I'm not really looking at them because I think it's doing it for both teams, because we're the same team basically. Yeah, Rhys James is pregnant. It would be dangerous not to close him down. Ooh, hit the post. I don't really think there's anything to do in terms of... I mean, the XG is saying that 0.34 to 0.26, and I will be using that more in the save, but at the moment I don't really need to see the analytical data. Shot map. It's all very straightforward and just more front and centre. Talk to the room. And please keep it going. I'm not going to really change anything because I think this team I think the players that are out there need to play together. It's a bit of a wasted ball forward. I don't know what happened there. Lewis, is he onside? He is. Getting a look at this Ballo kid that we saw earlier get a homegrown status for the under-23s. That is... What is that ball meant to do? Let's see if we should make some subs. Of course, it's going to tell me about all of this, which I don't technically need. Let's go ahead and make a number of changes. I think that would be better in the middle, wouldn't it? Yeah, 13 is better in the middle. I'm going to take Thiago Silva off and bring on Cesar. Emerson can come on. There really isn't a replacement of right back, apart from Cesar. I've already just brought him on. Jorginho can come on. I said I wasn't going to make changes, and now I'm making a whole host of changes. Show me why you should be in the team. I do like the new layout of the match. The players look a little bit more realistic than they did in Football Manager 2020. What a well worked move that was. It's very well worked. I could just ignore them for the second team. I am going to still demand more, regardless of what happens here. I don't know why I want to demand more. Just think we should do a demand more. What a well worked move that is. What a finish that is. Marcel Lewis. Anyone else do inter-squad friendlies and then find out that you always concede? You always concede. You never can keep a clean sheet in them. Well, that's just me. Although I have done changes, so that could potentially be not bad from Rhys James there. If it dipped, it might have gone in. Don't demand more. Ooh, hit the post. Let me know whether you want the sound on for matches moving forward. That kind of goes against what the tactic is. Rhys, N'Golo, Rhys. Kai, N'Golo, Werner, Kai, Mason. What a goal! I know it's against our under-23s, but still, what a goal! Look at that for movement. Nice finish as well. Let's pause a sec, because of course all of the... Okay, that's just those. Let's go behind the goal. I know it's a bit late now, but for future, behind the goal's good. Emerson, Kai, Emerson. Oh, Rhys James. Let's see what FM21 does in terms of the end game highlight. Unless the end game highlight's going to be a goal. No. Or a goal to them? No, probably not. James. And that's it. 4-1 victors. It's very good. For a pre-season match, that was very good. Kepa's anxious because he didn't probably play. Uninterested because he didn't play probably. So all the players that I didn't play, I didn't play Happy, seem to be anxious or not impressed, but all the players that I did play are like, yeah, thanks boss. Coast past the Blues. So the next episode, I will bring you back for West Brom. And whoever we have in the Carabao Cup. So the opener against West Brom and whoever we have in the Carabao Cup third round. Let's see when that gets drawn. That gets drawn on the 17th of September. And when do our Champions League group get drawn? Group stage. Draw date. Let me see it. 1st of October. Okay. So we'll bring you back for the opener against West Brom in the Premier League and the Carabao Cup opponent. Do not forget to hit like and subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I will see you in the next episode.